Hi guys, welcome to Multiverse. Today we are going to play with our friend Green Lantern. Some of you guys have been asking about some tips about the Green Lantern characters, so I'll see what I can do on that front. And also we're going to play the Valentine seasonal a bit with our friend, and we'll probably do some other stuff afterwards. So let's get started.
Mr. Freeze and his goons are interfering with the Star Sapphires and risking the safety of Gotham City. Head there and assist the Star Sapphires in any way you can.
Just trying to finish setting up things on my end. Sorry about that. Almost there, almost there. And there we go. So we should be good to go. Oh yeah. Let's grab that little mission here. And let's get out of here. So a bit of fair warning, Green Lantern is not really my main character. So I only know the power from playing it once in a while. It almost became my main character a few years ago. Basically, my main character when I started playing this universe online was pretty much the Phantom. And at some point in time, some of my friends started playing the game. And I decided to create a new character to be able to be at the same level as my friends. And I really enjoyed playing with the Green Lantern powers at first. I thought I would maybe switch to my Green Lantern being my actual character. But at the time, the power over time didn't work the way it works now. So I didn't really like it. Basically, in order to be able to cast your power over time, you had to use the boxing gloves or the claws, and you would end up in melee. And there's quite a few missions where if you do that, especially with bosses, you would be destroyed pretty quick. Hello, Joe S. Hello, Wolves Mod.
Carbomb Carmine, freelance agent hired out to numerous overseas operations, trained in Europe.
So basically, originally I didn't quite master the Green Lantern powers, and I didn't like the power over time, so I created my Magneto character, and I played the Mantle for quite a few years. So I don't play the Green Lantern powers that much, but I play it well enough to understand it well enough. Basically, if we look at my... I'll talk about controller probably a bit more than DPS, but I'll try to talk about DPS a bit. Basically, the Green Lantern loadout, if you play as a controller, I have a pretty much standard controller loadout that I almost use with pretty much everyone. So the first one will be Recharge, which will be my group power heal. Then I'll go with Light Blast, which reduces enemy defense. It's a controller debuff, as you can see. There's the Group Shield, that also gives power to the group. There's a Snap Trap, which reduces the target's ability to heal. It's something that I don't use all that much because there isn't that many enemies that actually heal in the game. Light Barrier is on my personal shield, which allows me to protect myself, and also it allows me to break out at the same time. And there's the controller debuff that reduces target's damage output, and also it acts as the supercharge generator. So it will recharge my supercharge faster, so that I should be able to cast my group shield a bit more often. Or a bit faster, I should say. Oh, I think I saw one here. Oh, no.
This is Batman to Commissioner Gordon. The Joker's adding some suspicious new weapons to his arsenal. His new toxin is far too chemically complex for someone as unfocused as the Joker. Have your men armed with the antidote if you can. Batman out.
So one of the biggest challenges with the Valentine seasonal is being able to get some objectives. And as you can see, I'm still doing it as a controller. It's you can switch to DPS if you like, but it's a little pointless seeing how whether you're a controller or DPS, you still do 1 point of damage with your attacks anyway. So it doesn't really matter.
We've argued long enough.
Well, the Phoenix material, the last piece of the Phoenix material is a pretty rare. So odds are you're gonna have to open a lot of time capsules before you get it. I wouldn't be surprised if you have to open like, if you're not lucky, you could have to open like 200 time capsules. It's that rare, sadly. If you're lucky, maybe you'll open 50 time capsules and you'll get it. But if you're not lucky, you could open 100, 200. But I've seen people who complained on the forums that they opened like 3, 4, 500 time capsules and still did not get the rare material. So sadly it's a random drop, and if you're really unlucky, it could happen that you really don't get it. The argument usually is that if you don't get what you want, you should be able to trade what you get for what you want. Sadly, the discrepancy between what you get and what you want, sometimes the price, there's such a huge difference in prices that even if you sell all the stuff that you get from like 100 time capsules, you still may not have enough money to be able to purchase the rare material. Oh, okay. I thought you were still looking for the rare piece. If you already have the rare piece and you just need one of the not so rare piece, just buy it from the broker. It's much better than opening a whole bunch of time capsules.
Play video games all night and not say a word.
Hello Reaper. Hello Xenocron. It's not on the broker? Well, then what I would suggest is that go to the broker any chance you get. You go repair your gear, look at the broker. You sooner or later you will see the collection you're missing. Yes, I'm on PS4. I'm still missing one. What's going on here? Playing DC Universe Online. Right now playing the Valentine seasonal. We'll probably play a few other missions afterwards. We'll see. So we got our 3 little hearts. We already did the mission with Mara, the Sea of Love mission yesterday. So sadly, we can only do the Sea of Love with our character once. So let's go back to our base and we're going to go do the race. While we're here, you may as well repair. So basically, Joe, whenever you go back to your base, if you go back to repair, check the broker. If you go back to buy some colas, check the broker. Every chance you get, check the broker for the collection that you're missing. Not really missing, well, I'm missing a lot of collections with this guy, but the one thing that I often look for myself on the broker is the Stalwart Defender chest. Right now it's 7 point, almost 8 millions. It's a little expensive. I saw it at 5 million the other day, and I should have bought it. Right now, the Stalwart Defender chest is always like around 8 or 10 millions, and sometimes even much more. So thanks to all the emblems we got not too long ago, sadly, usually what happens is that it pretty much increases the demand for the Stalwart Defender chest, so the prices will go up at least a bit. So the closest place where we can go to get close to the race is Union Station. So let's go there. No, you shouldn't be stuck there. Play the. I'll show you once we're done loading. Zachary, if you go into the on-duty menu, there's all these missions here that you can play. You can play the Visitor, you can play Injustice, you can play the Panopticon, and you can play the Escape. You should get some gear from those missions, and if the gear from those missions is not good enough, you should get some Ultra Bucks that will allow you to purchase some gear in the Earth 3 map. Basically, there's an Earth 3 map, an Earth 3 version of Gotham that you will have access to. So those missions should give you they'll give you some gear if you're lucky, or they will give you marks to be able to purchase gear. So if you're stuck at 155, you have no reason to be stuck. These missions should allow you to be able to get unstuck, if it makes any sense. And the same with the vault. If you play the vault, if you play the vault every chance you get, the vault gives you one piece of gear. So again, that should allow you to go up in combat rating at least a little bit. No, if you buy an armory on the marketplace, it's for your one character. Basically, every armory that you want to have, you have to purchase them. So let's assume that you have 2 characters and you want to have 4 armories for each character. You're gonna have to buy 6 armories, because each character will get their free armory. So you're gonna have to purchase 3 armories for each character. So if you want to have like 2 characters, if you have 2 characters and you want 2 armories, you're gonna have to buy each of your characters a second armory. So every armory you purchase is for one character only. Ah, lucky you. Now I'm green with envy.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
But Shadow, you got really lucky. I'm green with envy. Enjoy it when it happens. It doesn't happen all that often, but once in a while you can get a pretty good deal from the broker. But you have to go to the broker any chance you get. And that way you pretty much increase your chances of getting a good deal. Yeah, people do make mistakes. When it's 3 a.m. and you're putting an item for sale, it's very, very easy to put it at the wrong price. So instead of typing, let's say, 25 million, very easy to type 25k and forget quite a few zeros. It happens. Or sometimes doing one click too many when you're very tired and selling an item for $1, that happens. So when that happens, don't get mad. Like if it happens to you, if you end up selling an item for $1, it happens. It's the law of average. But if it happens to you that you end up selling an item for just $1, don't worry. Sooner or later, you will be able to benefit from someone else's mistake. So basically, you pass you pass the buck around. You give it to the next guy. If it makes any sense. Right now, I'm a hero character. Is crypto mean to you? You should buy T-Cool from the broker. Nah, I still have gold. I'm so sad. As you saw, I messed up a bit, and I lost way too much time. No, it happens. So we should be done with this here. There we go. I'm not sure how many marks I have. I'll wait before I purchase something. Oh yeah, and now let's go play the event. I hesitate a bit because on the hero side, sometimes it can be a nightmare to play the event. It's a bit easier on the villain side for once. Yeah, everyone wishes that crypto was actually a mission to turn into Cupid. Well, the race kind of does that. It gives you like those little Cupid wings. It's the only mission I can think of that does that.
There are enough crystals here to level the city. We have to take down Freeze and destroy this technology before it's too late.
Oh, let's switch to DPS.
You're going to regret ever coming in here.
I don't think we need two controllers.
In fact, let me show you my progress.
Batman Year 1, Volume 2? I have no idea what you're talking about.
Our crystals are powering that contraption. Destroy it!
Oh. Mr. Freeze has a pretty big attack. I'm not sure why there's a lot of people who don't seem to be able to either have a shield. Oh, that came close.
You might have won this fight, but I will get more crystals and rebuild. I will bring Nora back.
So you're talking about Batman Year 2. I know there's the comic Batman Year 2.
You really are.
It was drawn by
I'll take these crystals
a wonderful guy, a wonderful artist called Alan Davis. At least the first issue. Then the second issue, Tom McFarlane took over and drew the last 3 issues. And then many years later, they did some sort of sequel by Alan Davis again. Someone's complaining about the healing. I didn't notice. Yeah, the character, the healer, I forgot to heal, I suppose. Or wasn't healing very much. They announced, I'm not sure you... Oh, yeah, I see what you're talking about, by Jeff Jones. Yeah, I saw the announcement. It's a really old... I'm a bit surprised because what they're talking about is pretty old. It came out like 2-3 years ago. Not sure why they're talking about it. Yeah, I read Batman... it's Batman Earth 1, not Year 1. And the next chapter for Batman Earth 1 has been out for a few years. Basically, it features the Riddler. And if you look at the Earth 1 comics for Batman, both Volume 1 and Volume 2 starts almost exactly the same way. You have Batman that appears, he walks in the rooftop, and then you have the big reveal, ta-da, of Batman jumping on some bad guys. Both comics start exactly the same way, the same pacing, almost the same setup on each pages. It was an okay comic. It wasn't anything that I wasn't that crazy about that comic. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't that good either. It was competent, I suppose. They tried to add a few things. They had a few good ideas, like they tried to make it so that Martha Wayne, her maiden name was actually Arkham. So they were trying to sort of imply that the Batman had to be a bit crazy to dress as a bat and to go out fighting a criminal. But and the crazy part came from our mother, which was an Arkham. No, it's not Earth 1 versus Earth 2 or anything like that. The DC Comics had this line of comic that they started producing at some point. It was called Earth 1. They did a Superman Earth 1 comic. They did actually I think 3 Superman Earth 1 comics. They did 2 Batman Earth 1. They did a Teen Titans Earth 1. They did a Wonder Woman Earth 1, and maybe 1 or 2 that I failed to mention. But basically in like, I don't know, 10 years they came up with like maybe 7 or 8 comics for the Earth 1 line of comics, and I wasn't too crazy about those comics. And let's see, our friend is combat rating 121. Which mission could we do? Oh, I know where we're going. Let's go straight to HQ. But yeah, I saw the video about the second part of the Batman Earth 1 comic, like the part 2 or whatever, and I have no idea where they're doing that now because it's something that's pretty old by now. It's like a couple of years ago at the very least. Superboy Prime was a pretty infamous character, I suppose. The way they turned him into a villain during Infinite Crisis, I wasn't too crazy about that. And afterwards, they sort of destroyed the character even more.
Parademons from Apocalypse have invaded and are attacking the Celestial City. And to make matters worse,
I buy, sell, and repair equipment for the good of the Insect Empire.
In case you guys don't know, they changed the prices of a lot of the vendors. As you can see, a lot of the stuff you have on vendors now is very cheap in terms of marks of victory compared to how much it was before. But for Superboy Prime, it almost was a case of character assassination, the way they treated him in Infinite Crisis. I have no idea why they thought to do that. The top armor right now is the Owl suit, and it's the elite version of the Owl suit that is the top armor. There's a few elite pieces of gear that you can get. But overall, the top armor is the Owl suit set of armor that you can purchase in the Earth 3 vendor. Sorcery, I haven't played enough with Sorcery to really know how good it is. The one thing I don't like is that it depends a lot on the pet, and the pet doesn't seem that good to me. I know that at some point the pet was really powerful. From what I understand, they gave it quite a big nerf, and sometimes it just stands there not doing anything. So that annoys me a bit sometimes. When I'm attacking enemies and my pet stays there not doing anything, I kind of hate the pet when that happens. I don't think the Green Lantern will ever be part of the CW. there's two reasons for that. The first reason is that they're planning to make Green Lantern movies, so I don't think they'll have Green Lantern on the TV shows. And also the second reason for that is that having a Green Lantern on a TV show would be pretty expensive. Like they pretty much removed Firestorm from the Legends of Tomorrow. I suspect that one of the reasons why they did that is that Firestorm was a pretty expensive character to have on a TV show, especially on a TV budget.
Explosives on.
So, I would be really surprised if we ever have a Green Lantern in one of those TV shows. And if it ever happens, I think it'll be just like a guest appearance, like a 5-second cameo or something. I strongly doubt that they would give us Green Lantern as a regular member of those TV shows. But you never know. Sometimes they do manage to surprise us. I never thought in a million years that we would see characters like the Vigilante. Although, technically in the end, we did not really see Vigilante, but it was as close as we're ever going to get, I suppose. So as you can see right now, those little fellas are pretty much juggling my character around. It's a little difficult to get your combos going when that happens. And when that happens, when you have some evil enemies that stops you from doing your combos, just stop doing your combos and treat your power as if it was a regular power. Gadget overall is pretty good. Gadget does have a pet also, and ironically enough, I've played dozens of Gadget characters, and I've never once used the Gadget pet. Well, there's the Doomsday Clock comic with Watchmen. So yeah, they'd have. Technically, they're going to have Watchmen as sort of part of the DC universe. Not sure. We don't know yet exactly how it's going to work out, and we barely had I don't know 3 issues of the Doomsday Clock so far. So we don't really know exactly what their plans are for Watchmen. For Gadget being power hungry depends on the loadout you use. Ideally with Gadget you're going to want to benefit from power interactions. And also you're going to try to possibly use powers that are not too power hungry.
Data upload activated.
For Black Panther, yeah, it's not this Friday, it's the one after that, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure if I'll go see it right away or if I'll wait a bit. We'll see how it happens. Took me a while before I managed to see Thor Ragnarok. Like I saw Thor Ragnarok pretty much at the same time as I saw Star Wars. I pretty much did a double feature because I didn't get the chance to go see Thor Ragnarok before that. So we'll see what happens with Black Panther. We can pretty much expect the reviews to be very good. From what we can see right now. There's a few reasons for players not playing PvP all that much. The main reason is at some point. Well, there's a few reasons. There's one of the reasons is that a lot of players complain that PvP is broken, so they decided not to play PvP anymore because of that. Game Update 73 seems to have pretty much been the final nail in the coffin for PvP. Yeah, they killed Luke Skywalker. The big meanie.
That's right.
upload activated.
So there's a lot of players who don't play PvP because they think PvP is broken, and some players seems to think that Game Update 73 broke PvP even more. Also, at some point they made changes so that we can no longer create characters directly in the PvP open world. So again, that made it so that a lot of players, the PvP open world is pretty much deserted right now. So a lot of players who were playing PvP in the open world, sadly there's almost no one in the PvP open world anymore. I'm not sure if everyone was PvP and less PvE. I guess it might depend on the servers you were playing on, or it may have been just your perception. Because historically throughout the game, at the most there was only about 20% of players who were playing PvP, any kind of PvP. So no matter no matter how you slice it, there was always 80% of the player base who was only playing PvE. So at best, whenever you thought that everyone was playing PvP, it was only 20% of the player base. Hello, Alexandre. My favorite power is most likely Quantum. Although it's not the power that I played the most. The power I played the most is probably Mental. But then when they released Quantum, and I tried Quantum with I think it was my Galactus character at the time. Quantum I was able to play Quantum pretty much the same way I was playing Mantle, but I thought Quantum had some better animation effects, and also I thought that Quantum had something that Mantle didn't have, which was Quantum tunneling. I really loved Quantum tunneling, so at some point, basically with Game Update 73, what I ended up doing, I ended up switching the power of my main character, the multiverse, to Quantum, and no small part because of Quantum tunneling. I already made the Valentine seasonal, Alexandre. J'ai déjà fait la mission de Saint-Valentin, mais je vais peut-être la refaire plus tard ce soir avec un autre personnage. As for the best power, right now the consensus seems to be that it's either atomic or maybe ice. There was the Earth, but I keep on seeing people who says that Earth has been nerfed somehow. I wasn't aware of that, so if really Earth was nerfed, I was oblivious to that. There's a small teleport with Quantum called Quantum Tunneling. Basically, you can teleport, like, let's say, from where my character is, up to about, like, it's about that distance. Ah, merci, Ben. Well, hello, Alexandre. Have a good sleep. Yeah, I suspect it's pretty late for you in France. Hello, Neptune. Or hi, Neptune, I should say. Well, Atomic seems to be pretty powerful, and the thing is that even if you play Atomic as a tank, you still end up doing quite a lot of damage. I've seen a lot of Atomic tank who would do as much damage as pretty much all the DPSs in the group. So it's not rare that I'll see an Atomic tank that's actually at the top of the scoreboard. So Atomic seems to be pretty popular or pretty powerful right now. Earth was really powerful for a point at some point, but I know that there was a lot of complaint about Earth. So from what I understand, some people seems to suggest that Earth was nerfed. I can't really tell for sure because my Earth character is like level 22 or something. So I haven't played in Earth enough to. How'd you get titles? It depends. Basically, you get titles almost by accident, I would say. There are certain feats that will give you titles. If you go into, let's go into feats. I have no idea which feat to look for though. Let's see. Okay, you see the feats with the yellow ribbons? Those feats will grant you titles. Like this one gives you the title the light of the light. Is there another one here? Nope. So let's look at lightning strikes. No title here. So again here you see the yellow ribbon. So if you click on it, you can see it grants the title Prime. So there are feats that will give you titles. There might be other things also that can give you title. I would have to look it up to give you a better answer than that. Dr. Manhattan, Quantum, yeah, that would work. This is not my main, but one. Oh, let's see, what missions can we still play? No. Oh, I know which mission to go play. For the Flash emblem, I would have to look it up. It's probably around 5 millions. Between the 3 and 5 millions, that was the price last time I checked. Of course, it depends also which emblem you want to purchase. Do you want to purchase the box with both emblems, or do you want to purchase just the enhanced version? So you can see the enhanced version of the Flash emblem, about 3 millions. And for the box, oh, 9 millions. Oh no, that's just the Flash emblem. The cash is 8 millions. Actually, the cash is about 2.5 million. So you could purchase the cash, but if you don't want to have to craft the emblem, and if you know you're going to use, let's say, the enhanced version, just purchase the enhanced version. But ultimately, you decide. Let's look at, since we're here. Hello, Skelly. So get the box, and you're going to be able to craft the enhanced version if you want to. There's a few, quite a few things that could be nice for either mentors or for backups. Sadly, there's no such option just yet. Yeah, there are collections that are pricey. I'm not sure, Emmanuel, if you should do that. Let's grab the little fella, but that's not the mission I'm going to do.
When you're out there. Information is vital in war. To that end, we need additional
materials, you pretty much have to buy them from the broker. If you're lucky, you could get the collections from time capsules to get the materials, but as a rule of thumb, you pretty much have to buy them from the broker. Or you have to buy the collections from the broker. Either way, yeah, you pretty much have to get them from the broker. We're going to go fight the evil Hal Jordan, because we can. Just a second, although it's a little too late for that, but I'll try to... Nah, too late. I didn't realize the characters were so much higher level than my Green Lantern, but I think we'll be fine anyway. It's ignored. Don't worry, Manuel, it's ignored. Yeah, they kind of hurt sometimes. My favorite superhero? It has to be Batman. Oh, let's summon a few friends, and let's get started. Let's use our supercharge a bit. It's too awesome not to use. No, sidekicks, you can use them as much as you want, but they have a limited time. Like, basically, these aren't really sidekicks, these are backups that I used, but it's pretty much the same principle. When you cast your sidekick or backup, they remain for a short time, and then you cannot use them until the cooldown is expired. Once the cooldown expires, then you can summon them again. So it's not a one-time thing, but there is a cooldown, so you cannot use it as much as you want. My Fairy Lantern Corps, I would have to say probably the Black Lanterns. It would be sometimes it's Yellow Lanterns, sometimes it's Black Lanterns. It depends on the storyline, I suppose. When we got the Green Lantern Sinestro Corps War, it was the Yellow Lanterns. But then again, we got the Blackest Night afterwards, and the Black Lantern pretty much became my favorite. I know that it's technically it was like zombies with power ring, if it makes any sense. But I thought some of the ideas they had with the Black Lantern Corps was really cool. Well, in the animated movies that they've been making for some time now, they pretty much try to redo some classic storylines or some popular storylines. Quite a few years ago, they did the Dark Knight Returns. And more recently, they did Batman Gotham by Gaslight. So they seem to be trying to recreate the popular storylines in animation.
It's no use. We need help.
That's the Ra's al Ghul cape.
Of the Indigo tribe and bring them here.
That's the Ra's al Ghul proper cape. I don't have the other one. At some point I was using the Miraculous cape. Oh, the other one. but it's hiding the emblem a bit, so I didn't like it because of that. So I went and used the Racial Ghoul cape instead, so that it doesn't hide the top of the emblem. But I guess now I could use the other miraculous cape. I'll have to give it some thoughts. I have a video about the Racial Ghoul cape. If you look through my videos, if you search, let's say, for cape, you should see the video I made, and in that video I explain how to get the Racial Ghoul cape. It's fairly simple. In this game, it's hard to tell because I have I have two accounts. I have an account on PS4 and an account on PC. So and I've been pretty much legendary player ever since. So let's say $100 a year for the subscription, times 6 years now, times 2. So just with subscription, I've spent $1,200 more or less. And that doesn't take into account all the stuff I bought from the marketplace, all the stuff I bought from all the time capsules I opened, and all of that. So I probably spent a little too much.
If the Black has reached Oa, we're going to need help from the other corps.
Although for quite a few years, all I was pretty much spending money on was my subscription. I wasn't buying replay badges, and I would only buy stuff from the marketplace once in a while. All the bases have the same room, the same amount of space. The only distinction is that some of them sometimes will have a beam that will block some of the space, but technically they all have the same amount of space. With this character, I would have to check. Give me 1 second. My main character is like 240 or 245 in in that range. This little guy here has 138, and I have 3 that I didn't spend. Let's spend them. And 1 stake if we switch armory, but it doesn't matter. And in the game, there's, I don't know, I'd say probably 400 or close to 400, I suppose. Truth is, I don't really know how many there are. I don't really care about skill points all that much. I've seen good players who had only 50 skill points. I've seen bad players with 300 skill points. So I don't really care that much about skill points, to tell the truth.
For the core.
Yes, I'm very excited about the Superman 80th anniversary. Hopefully we'll get a nice set of Superman gear. Hopefully we'll get some nice Superman emblems. I wish we could have a Red Sun Superman emblem. I wish I could use that emblem with my Superman character. I don't have to make another one. I'll show you in just a second. Well, I think it's 400. It might be 390. The truth is, I don't really know. As for Hal Jordan, I do have a Hal Jordan armory. And I toyed with having a Kyle Rayner or John Stewart armory, or even Guy Gardner. But sadly, I only have 4 armories, and I decided to go with... where is it? I decided to go with the Dawnbreaker Batman instead for like my 3rd armory. And my 4th armory is going to be the Alan Scott Green Lantern from Kingdom Come. So sadly, I only have 4 armories with this little guy. The back of this one, I suspect. It's the back from the speed metal set of gear. No, I forgot to. It's not an aura, or the aura is the amber mist, not amber mist.
You help me?
The Haldron back. It's the Son of Scion of Iron back piece. I'm mispronouncing it, so I'll just show it to you so that you know what I'm talking about. It's basically the official set of Green Lantern gear that we have in the game. It's a little shiny. It goes with. There's also a chest piece that goes with that. Well, there's a whole set of gear actually that goes with that. But I don't think I have the whole set with this little guy. But I prefer to use a slimline with the Green Lantern emblem. They got a new designer. I think it might even be a new studio. Sometimes, sadly, even if it's the same game, if they use different designers, designers will design things differently. If it makes any sense. One thing that often happens, you see that in movies all the time, is that they make, let's say, a first film, and then they decide to make a second film, and they decide to change all the designs, even the designs that were more than fine. It's something we saw way too many times. If you remember in the Spider-Man film, not the Amazing Spider-Man, but the Spider-Man by Sam Raimi, one thing I'm sure a lot of you guys never noticed, between Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man 2, they redesigned the costume. It's almost identical, but they changed the colors a bit, and they tweaked the spider a bit and stuff like that. It's very, very tiny changes. But somehow, someone somewhere felt that they had to redesign the Spider-Man costume for the second film. And they even redesigned the costume for the third film. They did the same thing also with Batman when Tim Burton did the Batman movies. They did the first Tim Burton Batman film in 1989. And then when they did Batman Returns, they had to redesign the costume. I'm sure a lot of you people never realized that there was a new costume for Batman Returns, but there was. Yeah, I do play other games, but this is pretty much the game I play the most.
They are able to spare reinforcements. Speak with me again.
At Scion of Iron, you have to go to Mogo. If you go to Mogo, if you go into the Watchtower, there's a portal that will bring you to Mogo. And in Mogo, you will have the vendor that will sell you the Scion of Iron, not just the chest piece. He has the whole set of gear. There's a DPS set of gear, and there's a, let's say, controller or tank or a healer set of gear, depending on your role. So make sure you purchase the correct one. As for playing other games, yeah, I try to play other games, but sometimes my time is limited. So sometimes I don't have that much time to play a game. Sometimes I have a lot of... yeah, it is from War of the Light Part 1, exactly.
These lanterns will stay here and hold this point.
Yeah, usually that's the kind of things that will motivate you to increase the combat rating of your character. Like this character stayed like combat rating 60 for like forever, until one day I decided that okay, today's the day that I'm going to get the Green Lantern chest, or the Sign of Iron chest, I should say.
I bear the indigo light.
Yeah, I'm not sure what to think about the solo trailer. Uh, like especially when we saw the first one, it's as if they were trying to hide the actor playing Han Solo. We saw him like in the very last frame or something, which didn't inspire confidence. And even in the longest the longer trailer, we didn't see him all that much. I hate it when you cannot target the enemy. So yeah, I saw the trailer for Han Solo. It could be promising, but it could be a nightmare. Visually, the trailer looked fine. A little dark though. I know some people like it because they thought it gave it it made it more realistic, which always drives me a bit nuts. It's not supposed to be realistic. It's sci-fi fantasy. But there are lots of people who want everything to be realistic somehow. Level 30 fast? Not really. I made a series of video with my Firestorm character where I went to level 30 in one day. So the only thing I could really suggest is play your main missions. If you have some side missions, play those as well. Well, technically, if you want to have more armories, you have. Let's use the barrel. If you want to have more armories, you have to purchase more bases. It's sadly that's how it works. I wish we could have more than 4 bases in our base, more than 4 armories in our base. But I guess at the time they thought it would be one way that would encourage people to buy more than 1 base. If people wanted more armories, they could have them, but they would have to purchase more bases. Sorry guys, I was a bit focused on the fight. So yeah, having more than 4 armories would be a good thing, but again, that seems to be their way to try to encourage people to have more than 1 base. So I would be surprised if it happens. But to come back to the solo trailer, overall visually it seems to look fine. The worry I would have is with the actors. Are they going to do a good job playing the characters? Yeah, I do have the full Riddler armor with my multi-risk character, and I have the Riddler aura. I made a video about that quite some time ago. If you look through my video for Riddler or something like that, you should be able to see the Riddler style. The bat symbol, you have to get it from the Gotham time capsules, or you have to buy it from the broker. I would strongly suggest just buy it from the broker. And there was also all the Dark Knight's Batman emblems that you can probably get also from the broker. So for those who are asking for the Scion of Iron, you have to come see this little guy here. And if we go all the way down, there we go. So you can see it's the Scion of Iron set of gear. Here you have the shoulders, the headpiece. I'm not sure about the headpiece. I guess you could use it to recreate what's his name, Baz, the latest Green Lantern they created. So we have the gloves here. Well, there's plenty of things on the broker, but you have to shop around. Here you have the Son of Iron belt, the pants. Not too crazy about the pants, but they're over designed a bit. And you have the boots. For the bat symbol, let's go check. It's been a while since I checked. Last I checked, it was pretty pricey. There's someone who made quite a few bucks by selling a handful of Batman emblems. So let's start with Batman Rebirth. Come on, come on. Sadly, there's a bit of lag with the broker. So if some of you guys wondered what impact the PS3 would have on the game, right now I would have to say no impact at all. I can't tell the difference. I don't tell the difference in terms of cure time, and also I can tell the difference in terms of the broker. I thought maybe the broker would not lag as much with less people in the game, and it actually lags as much as it did before. So right now I can't say that I see much difference now that the PS3 is no longer supported. So you can see right now the Batman Rebirth emblem cash 4.5 million. So that's what you have to pay for that. Well, let's see a few others like but we have other emblems like the emblem of the Red Death. It's not exactly a Batman emblem, but it's close enough. And you have the enhanced version that is a little more expensive. Ooh, and it's very bright. So 2.3 millions almost for the enhanced version. Or 190,000 for the regular version. So much more reasonable to purchase the regular version. More DC characters in the game. Well, there's only so many new characters they can add with each new DLC. Like with the Earth 3 DLC, they've added basically 4 characters. They've added Ultraman, they've added Superwoman, they've added Johnny Quick, and they've added I'm forgetting one, Owlman. So they've added 4 new characters with Earth 3. I suspect with the Valentine seasonal they revamped Mera. So it's not a new character, but they made a new model for Mera. And I suspect with the next DLC they will they will add at least a couple of new characters. And I forgot to mention, someone asked about the 80th anniversary. I'm not sure if I answered or if I was too busy playing at the time. But they... Oh, that's a weird looking flash. For the 80th anniversary of Superman, I'm very excited. So here our friend Hal Jordan is sending us a chess piece. It's been a long time, I have no idea which chess piece that will be. It's the aesthetic. Let's take a quick look. I think it's the Moog chess piece. Don't think I ever really used it. Yeah. Or as I would call it, the hobo lantern piece. Doesn't look bad, but I don't think I would never use that. Maybe if I ever make a barbarian Green Lantern or something. Oh. How do I have that much money? Using the broker. The only real way to make a lot of money in this universe online is using the broker. There's probably other ways to also make money in this universe online, but the better way is to sell items on the broker for as much as you can. And depending on what you want to do, you're going to ask more or less for your items. Like for example, there's this little table here. I could sell it for, well, let's say 20,000 or more. If I sell it for 20,000, it should sell fairly quick. If I want to make as much money as possible, I could sell it for 39,999. But there's a whole bunch of stuff you can sell. You can sell exhibits or exobytes. Exobytes aren't worth what they used to be, but if you gather a stack of like 99 exobytes, which is not that difficult, you can sell a stack of 99 exobytes for about 3 millions. So if you really need a lot of money and you have a lot of exobytes, you can sell them on the broker. Oh, if you want to have more than 2,000, you have to be a legendary player. You have to be a subscriber. So if you're a free-to-play player, you're gonna have $1,500. If you're a premium player, you're gonna have $2,000. And if you're a legendary player, you have as much cash as you can gather, as much cash as you can make. Like basically, your cash is unlocked, and you have as many cash as you possibly can. So let's see, what else could we do next? Yeah, you can be legendary on Xbox. Basically, being legendary means you're a subscriber. So whether you're on Xbox or on PC or on PlayStation, you can go to the marketplace. Actually, I'm not sure if you can do it from the marketplace. Well, maybe not. So I guess then you have to, oh yeah, buy membership. So you see the thingy buy membership. You go there, you click X to become a member. They're going to ask you to pay X amount of money depending on the membership you want. You can be a member for 1 month, 3 months, I think 6 months, and or a year. 1 month it's like $15. If you subscribe for a year, it's like 120, so it comes down to $10 a month. But I subscribed before the holidays. I renewed my subscription. There was a sale at 33% off, so I was able to renew my subscription for like $84, I think. So it pretty much came down to like $7 a month. So if you know you like the game, if you know you're still going to be playing the game next year and the year after that and the year after that, there's no reason not to become a subscriber for a whole year. If you worry that maybe someday the game will shut down or maybe someday you'll decide not to play the game anymore, then sure, subscribe for 1 month, 3 month. But again, if you subscribe for 1 month, it'll be like $15 a month. If you subscribe for the whole year, it'll be $10 a month. And if you subscribe for the whole year while there's some sort of sale going on, it could be as low as $7 a month, which is what I ended up doing. Hello, Quan. So let's see what else we could play. I guess we have no choice but to play group content at this point. Oh, I'm so sad. Holy crap, Desecrated Cathedral. No, I don't want to play that. So right now, I'm in a tough spot. Fatal exams. You don't want to play that unless you're playing with a group. It requires some sort of coordination with your whole group. And the Desecrated Cathedral, you can see the minimum combat rating is 113. If you end up with a whole bunch of people who are combat rating 113, you'll never be able to finish the darn mission. And sadly, there's way too many people who go into that mission at the minimum combat rating. So it's when that happens, it's pretty much a nightmare. So let's see what else we could try and do. Maybe some tier 6 if we can still. Oh yes, I could still play those, I suppose. Well, see you later, Neptune. Oh, bye-bye, Batman. Actually, let's go farm for catalysts. I'm a little overdue to do that. And the one I need actually is Area 51. Like I need some Electrum for my artifacts. So let's go and do that. Maybe? I should probably wait, but why not? Oh, I'm so sad. I'm going to be the low-level guy this time. I do live stream, but sometimes also I'll do pre-recorded videos. If there's any new powers coming up, we have no idea. Basically, you have to remember, guys, that for quite some time we did not really get any news. The latest news we got were about the 80th anniversary of Superman and the upcoming DLC, The Deluge, in March. So don't expect to have any news about new powers or any stuff like that just yet. I'm glad if it can help you, Joan Arc. Well, thank you, Joan. But yeah, I do have a lot of videos about this Universe Online zone. So if you need any information, look through my videos. Odds are I probably made a video already about what you're looking for. If there's something really specific you're looking for and you cannot find a video, don't feel free to ask questions in the comment section below the video, and I'll see what I can do about answering your questions. Yeah, Justice Lord DLC could be fun. Although we just got the Earth 3 DLC, so I would be surprised if they went in that direction again. Also, they seem to be able to do storylines from the comics, but I don't think they can do storylines from the animated series, so I'm not sure if they would be able to do the Justice Lords.
There is no choice. We must destroy it.
Yes. May this alliance be the first of many more. Victory is ours.
The realm of magic is safe from Brainiac. Now, on to other matters. Like your destruction, Wonder Woman.
Curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal.
Sadly, as you can see, sometimes the animation is a little bit funky for the Green Lantern powers.
You will rue the day you angered me. I know your name. I know your face. And I know your days are numbered!
By Hera, you are a warrior I'm proud to have at my side. This is Wonder Woman. I will open a portal home for you and restore this realm. I am called Wonder Woman.
I usually like to watch those, but let's skip for now.
Blood Priest Chronicle. The tentacled penumbra is not a particularly...
For those who don't know, there's a new scoreboard, a new leaderboard, or both. So you can see our friend Hades got the most damage done. I got the most healing, the most damage received, and the most healing received. Ah. And you can see the total sum of everything we did on the leaderboard. That's pretty cool the way they've upgraded it. I kind of like it better than it used to be. I just hope it won't encourage scoreboard chasers too much. It can be a bit of a pain when some players try to get the best score on the scoreboard as opposed to just completing the missions.
My magician. My
A Justice Lord Batman armor could be fun. Although you can already pretty much recreate a pretty good approximation of the Justice Lords.
Brainiac destroy all magic? These realms belong under my rule. That fool Wonder Woman thinks truth will prevail.
I've even made a video about that. If you look,
Only force. Show Brainiac our might, and let magic.
I made a video about the Justice Lords, so I pretty much made a handful of characters from the Justice Lord. And also I've made a video specifically about the Justice Lord Batman. So using the Star Wars Defender chest, whatever Batman emblem you have access to, you can recreate a pretty good version of the Justice Lord Batman. I'm on the US PS4.
Blood Priest Chronicle. If you are careful, liquid.
But again, I don't think we'll ever get an official Justice Lord Batman armor because they don't have access, they don't have the rights to use things from the TV shows. Uh, they usually have the rights to use things from the comics, which is why we were able to get Batman Beyond after all, because there is a Batman Beyond comic that doesn't have anything to do with the TV show. So we were able to get the Batman Beyond thanks to that. So for the Justice Lords, I'm not sure if there ever was a comic where they were featured or where they made an appearance. If there was, I guess they could try to use that. Although sometimes they do have a few exceptions, it seems. Like we got a set of gear that was Green Arrow from the TV shows. And speaking of TV show, tonight we have a new episode of The Flash. Hopefully it'll be a good one. We're gonna have to wait and see, I suppose. So I think we're going to be it for that's going to be it for today, guys. Sadly, people don't seem to run the Catalyst missions as much as they used to. Or you really have to run the mission like the day after the reset, I suppose. That's a pretty neat looking spawn. Not sure if that's supposed to be the thing. That's a funky fella. So I guess that's going to be it for now, guys. Not sure what we'll do tomorrow. Tomorrow there's no TV show. I'll try to think of something for tomorrow. So that's going to be it for now, guys. So as always, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.